What is up, YouTube? My name is Dalen, and today we are back for some more TierZoo. Are giraffes OP? Let us check this out and see how the giraffes stand against other animals, themselves, and are there different types of giraffes? Because from what I've seen, there's only like one type of species of giraffes. But then again, actually now I think about it, what even are giraffes? I never even thought about that. Are they like elongated cows? I don't even know. Maybe he'll explain in the video. Who knows? So yeah, let's check this out. See, are giraffes OP? Hey yo, booty hole. I'm sorry, that was inappropriate. I won't do that again.
The Africa server is full of extremes. You've
Yes,
got
sir.
the most powerful builds in the game, including the largest terrestrial build in the entire game currently. But
I feel like elephants could beat a giraffe, right? Because giraffes are taller than elephants, but I feel like elephants are more thicker, and because I don't know, because giraffes I
while
feel
the
like are
African bush
a
elephant
lot more
may
thinner
indeed
than
be the
elephants.
largest, it isn't.
So if an elephant charges into a giraffe, I feel like it could easily beat them, right? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down
That
below.
title goes to the subject
I
of
think
today's
elephants could
video,
beat giraffes.
The giraffe. But is being the
I
tallest
feel
build
like they
in the
can.
game actually that effective of a strategy? How does it play out in practice? And what abilities did the giraffe spec
Shit, look
into
like a
in
damn
order
dinosaur.
to compound its innate advantages?
They're so giraffes are so interesting to me. Like what are these things? And it's crazy because I was just watching like Star Wars gameplay and shit, and I saw like a bunch of stuff, and this literally looks like a Star Wars creature, to be honest. Like some type of Star Wars dinosaur. I want to know.
The giraffe's extreme
What are
height
you?
grants it several benefits.
Why can't I have what? Where's my volume, bitch?
The giraffe's
Okay, thank
extreme height grants it several benefits. The first of these is how it completely changes the dynamics regarding the game's stealth mechanics. So most top predators in the African savanna opt for the ambush strategy.
That's crazy though. Compared to other animals, giraffes don't have stealth. But then again, I guess if you're that tall, you don't really need it. So I guess they exchange the stealth for intimidation. Makes sense. Makes sense. Why is my internet is so
striking
dog
range
shit.
of their targets. They tend to rely on a combination of innate camouflage and use of natural cover to evade detection,
giraffes don't
while
have that.
closing most of the distance, breaking from cover
Or maybe
only
they
at
do,
the
I don't
last
know.
possible second when they believe they can close the remaining distance before the target has a chance
I feel like
to
I've seen a
react.
giraffe hide in the trees before. But then again, there's not really that much trees in
This
where
strategy
they
is
actually
almost
live in.
completely useless against the giraffe, because the stealth benefit from natural cover, things like tall grass and bushes, is entirely negated when viewed from a high vantage point, while staying low to the ground may obscure
It
a
must be
character from the
crazy
perspective of when viewed
looking
from
up from this height. Sure, people wish.
high
That's
vantage
crazy.
point. While staying low to the ground
as a
may
6 foot
obscure a
man,
character from the
like
perspective
myself,
of something like a
I
gazelle
have
or
no
zebra, to a
I
giraffe,
have no
you are
such,
completely exposed and your approach was seen
problems.
coming from quite a ways off. The second main benefit granted to the giraffe via
What
its
is this
height
nigga
is a
doing? I know this nigga not trying to fight this dude. This is literally your big cousin right here.
bonus to its defense. Because the giraffe's hurt box is elevated significantly off the ground, it's extremely difficult for most players to land a hit on the giraffe's vitals. In fact, for literally every relevant threat in the African meta, landing a strike on the giraffe's weak point requires either a risky jump strike or an ambush from an elevated position. Neither of which are very efficient strategies, with the jump strike in particular being easily punishable by any of the giraffe's many powerful counterattack options.
Yo, that
Speaking
nigga
of, let's
got
take a look at
stomped
what
his
those
ass
are.
out.
The giraffe's reach not only keeps its own vitals out of attack range, but also makes it very easy for a giraffe main to land
nigga not
their
even
own
trying.
attacks. Similar to horses and zebras, the giraffe's main method of attacking is its kick, dealing moderate damage to any target that dares enter the giraffe's zone of control.
Can't attack
However,
with anything
when the
else.
giraffe really needs to deal some damage, it
He don't
resorts
eat meat.
to its signature move, the ossicone bash.
Oh my
The
god!
giraffe-
Yo, I forgot that they do that. Oh my, but man, yo, that shit looks so goofy. They don't hurt themselves when they do that. I feel like they would hurt their necks when they do that. That's crazy. Like, I don't know. That seems kind of crazy. Like, what if their necks break?
Giraffe swings its neck in a wide arc, with the intent to connect with the horn-like protrusions on its skull, called ossicones.
Oh, those are horns. I was wondering what those were. Interesting. Are there any other creatures that have this? Ossicons? Interesting.
Connecting with this attack means pretty much instant game over for any player
Oh
it
my
hits,
gosh, that
unless
nigga
they have
dead.
an extremely large health pool, such as another giraffe. However, it is a bit more risky to just throw this move out, considering that it puts your normally out of reach weak point in a potentially vulnerable position, and also
is so
deals a
weird.
little recoil damage with each use as well.
What the
And if
bro.
an attacking player does manage to dodge the first swing and get in close, using this move
Yeah, giraffes are so interesting, bro. Now, okay, now my question is, how is he gonna get up from this? What? Look at what position he's in. He's dead. He's gonna kill him. What? Oh my gosh, how is he gonna get up? He got no hands.
becomes much more difficult, since the close range hitbox is a bit of a sour spot. But still, the mere threat of this move is
You know
enough
what
to dissuade
I
most attacks.
realized? I've never actually seen a giraffe crouch before. Can they sleep, and how do they sleep? That's my question. Like, do they sleep standing up, or do they actually get on the ground and sleep? Like, that's my question.
To the point that most Predator players won't even bother with a high-level giraffe. Low-level giraffe mains are a lot more vulnerable.
Oh my gosh.
And this is where the efficacy
Okay,
of the giraffe's
I saw
low-level
it. Okay, so they do crouch. So I guess they do sleep in that
giraffe
position.
mains are a lot more vulnerable. And this is where the efficacy of the giraffe's reach and height is really put to the test. Upon spawning in, the giraffe is pretty
Aww.
much helpless. It doesn't have the height advantage on its opponents yet, but because of its slender, lanky shape,
that was
it
kinda
has
cute, I'm
disadvantage
not
on
gonna
all
lie.
saving throws to avoid being grappled or knocked prone. And so it's the job of the higher level giraffe players to complete the long, arduous escort mission of protecting the newborn giraffe as it matures. Now, because the giraffe's attack range is so broad, it is able to guard a wide area and pressure a counterattack on any player that would dare target the newborn. However, because the giraffe does not possess any AoE attacks, defending against multiple opponents at once can be quite challenging, often necessitating that a
that.
newborn tank a few hits as
Man
the mother
starts
chases
hopping
away
around.
one attacker at a time. Now, despite
Hopefully
having not leveled
get
up at all,
somebody.
the giraffe starts with a pretty generous amount of HP. But even so, it's not uncommon for the escort at all. The giraffe starts with a pretty generous amount of
Okay. High HP.
HP. But even so, it's not uncommon for the
They
escort
really
mission
got
to
much
fail.
going
And with a
for them,
respawn time
for
of
them.
15 months, this is certainly one of the most frustrating aspects of giraffe
Oh my
gameplay.
gosh, not your baby.
Next, let's talk about individual matchups. First, we have the cheetah. Anyways, on a serious note, first we have the leopard. Now, the leopard is one of the most interesting matchups because of its ability to climb and attack from a high vantage point. Leopard players have been known to use their ability to climb as part of their ambush strategy, pouncing on their target from above. This could mean it's the only predator in the game with an honest
see this
shot at
nigga?
landing a surprise crit against the
Yeah, I'm
giraffe.
about to say, like,
But in
bro.
all honesty, this would be an insanely risky strategy. And since leopards hunt alone,
Vision
there's
from
really
the
not
giraffe.
much reason to try and take down such large prey, when they can survive just fine off of the standard diet of antelope and deer. Still, against a lower level giraffe, I could see this strategy working pretty well, if no allies were around to rescue it. But since leopards kill slowly by strangling their target with their bite, this gives the giraffe's party members a lot of time to react and respond accordingly.
Oh,
This
yo.
is similar to the issue
W
lions
Mans.
have in their matchup
W
against
Mans right
react
here.
and respond accordingly.
Get up, my nigga.
This is similar to the
fuck?
issue lions have in their matchup against giraffes. Compared
my
to some of
homie.
the other potential threats, a lion can't actually deal that much damage on its own to a giraffe.
Damn,
Even against a
GGs.
low-level giraffe player, it's unlikely they could take it out in a single attack, leading to the same issue as a leopard, where the giraffe's teammates would be able to rescue it. However, because lions do cooperate, together it is possible for a pride of lions to bring down even a large adult giraffe, but not without serious risk to the attackers. And since lions typically close in on their targets by staying low to the
I wanna
ground
know, can
and
they
moving
beat an
slowly,
elephant?
the giraffe's height is perfectly suited to detecting their approach and escaping before they're in any real danger. So lions taking down giraffes does happen, but it's exceptionally rare. The rhino is an interesting matchup. Obviously, giraffes and rhinos have no real reason to attack each other, but due to the rhino's poor eyesight, it tends to perceive most players that come near it to be threats regardless. Lucky for the giraffe, the rhino's horn is not usually able to reach the giraffe's weak point, so as long as it can avoid getting knocked over,
What about his legs,
giraffes
though?
tend to do just fine in this matchup. Despite the incredible range of a rhinoceros's horn, the giraffe's kick can still outrange it, and although rhinos are quite tanky, a good kick to the face is usually enough to dissuade further attacks. An important matchup I want to discuss is the hyena. Now, because they can't really jump, hyenas don't have anywhere near the vertical threat range that lions or leopards do, so attacking an adult giraffe is pretty much out of the question. However, instead of this increased agility, hyenas have a much more powerful bite. Rather than requiring a critical hit, a hyena can crack bone with a single bite anywhere on the target, which can immediately disable their prey and make rescue attempts futile. This is particularly effective against disable their prey and
make walking on 3 legs.
Rescue attempts futile. This is particularly effective against players who rely on their teammates for protection, as even if an ally does step in to fight off the attackers, oftentimes it's simply too...
Compared to humans, animals don't got hospitals. So if they get injured, it's GG's. That's crazy.
Late, and the damage has already been done. Eventually the teammates will move on, and the hyenas will be able to close out the kill. Lastly, I don't think it's any real surprise to see that giraffes still have to respect the space of an elephant. Elephants are tall enough to gore a giraffe with their powerful tusks, so if there's ever a territorial dispute between an elephant and a giraffe, the elephant always wins. Thankfully for a giraffe, its longer legs grant it a faster run speed.
Always win.
So while elephants do pose a serious threat, this hardly ever actually results in direct damage. In fact, by and large, rather than competing with other herbivores for the best resources, the giraffe's unique access to treetops means that it actually makes a lot of sense for other herbivores to tolerate or even appreciate the presence of a giraffe. They aren't taking away any food they would have accessed anyway, and could also serve as an early warning system if they see predators coming. So, while they're definitely not the most overpowered build, they're certainly up there, near untouchable for the vast majority of their playthrough, and have fairly reliable protection in the early game. I'd put them in solid A tier. In fact, it's somewhat strange that other herbivore players haven't started speccing into similar height advantages to gain the same survival perks as the giraffe. The giraffe is extremely unique in its role in the meta, which is weird because historically, the treetop grazer giant type build has been extremely successful. Giant long-necked rhinoceros reigned supreme during the Oligocene, and before that we saw this strategy absolutely dominate during the Mesozoic in the form of the sauropod dinosaur. So why only the giraffe in today's meta? There are a few theories on this, but that's beyond the scope of this video. In terms of strategy and playstyle, the closest thing we have today is probably the camel, but surprisingly...
Or is the comments gonna help me?
The giraffe is not that closely related to camels. The giraffe only has 2 close relatives in the current meta. The first is the okapi, a strange build that functions as sort of a middle ground between deer and giraffes. And the second is one that...
Alright. Yeah, I've never actually seen this type of animal before.
Strange build that functions as sort of a middle ground between deer and giraffes. And the second is one that basically nobody would expect, the pronghorn, which is completely different than the giraffe in both stature and location. Both the okapi and giraffe are only playable on the Africa server, but to find the pronghorn, you need to travel all the way to the North America server. The pronghorn deserves an entire video to itself since it's such a fascinating build with an extremely distinct strategy from everything else on the American server. And guess what? That video, it already exists. You can watch it right now, a month before everyone else, by subscribing to Nebula, a streaming service owned and operated by Nebula. Flashy edits, high quality stock footage clips, already subscribe. And ad-free platform. Human. Special thanks.
Oh, that's it? That's it for the video? Okay. Well, I guess they answered the main question I want to answer. Is can an elephant beat a giraffe? And obviously, an elephant can beat a giraffe. That's interesting though. The relatives to the giraffes are an okapi and a long what was it called? What was it called? Okay, there's no volume for me. Whatever, I'll look it up later. But anyways, interesting video, video from TierZoo. As always, leave a like on this video, subscribe for more content, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.